My name is Dr. Melissa Groelz. It is lovely to have you all here. This is our Ideal Weight Loss Workshop. I put this class together just to be totally informative about what we are doing in this office to help people lose an average of 3 to 7 pounds per week. We combine a couple of different therapies. One of them is a weight loss program, one of them is a red light therapy to really allow our patients to shed a lot of fat in a short period of time, hold on to all of their muscle, but also really target and tone the areas in their body where they want to lose fat from. So we have a great success in this office. We've been doing this for over 11 years. We have helped thousands of people through this program. And I really find that if I take some time and explain to you how your body works, you can work with your body and get phenomenal results. Because when you don't understand how your body works, you will fight against your body and fail miserably every time. So that's all we're here to do tonight. I know that we handed you paperwork on the way in the door. It is not important. Set it aside. We can always do paperwork later. We're just here to really learn how to get this weight off and keep it off for the long run. Sound good? Quick introduction of myself. I'm actually a spinal pain specialist. I've been in the spinal pain world for over 19 years now. I started getting into weight loss about 11 years ago because my brother, who had struggled with weight his entire life, lost 53 pounds. And he called me up and he was telling me about this program and he was really excited about it. And he was thinking about bringing it into his office. He's a physician out in California. And he wanted to give it to his patients, but he wanted my opinion of it first. The reason he wanted my opinion of it is I had worked for many years before I went into spinal pain field as a personal fitness trainer. My undergraduate degree is in kinesiology and applied physiology. I had studied a lot of biochemistry. I had studied a lot of nutrition. And so he wanted to get my take on it. So I looked at the program and I was like, oh, I really don't like the idea of packaged foods. That does not sit well with me. I have a lot of reservations about that. I think people should be eating whole foods. So that was something that I had a very big question mark in my mind about. So I called up the clinicians who developed this program, and it's actually developed by a French doctor who has an MD, a PhD in nutrition, and a PhD in biochemistry. That is a lot of education for one man to get. And I talked with them. And I said, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm going to be pretty blunt. I think you're selling something. I don't think people need to eat this stuff to lose weight. And they explained some things to me about how the body works that I'm going to explain to you tonight. And it all made a lot of sense, but I still had a lot of reservations in my mind. So they could hear those reservations in my voice. And the head clinician said, you know, Dr. Melissa, your brother tells me that you just had your second baby. Is that correct? And I was like, yes, it is. Why? He goes, you have some weight you need to lose, Dr. Melissa? And I was like, yeah, I have 40 pounds to drop. He's like, all right, you do the program, you decide what you think about it, and then call me back. And I thought, you know what? That is a very good answer. So I did. I did the program myself. I lost 40 pounds in 2.5 months. That was 11 years ago. It was fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I loved every second of that. But that is not what sold me on this program. What sold me on this program is as I was losing that weight, I corrected my hypoglycemia. Anybody know what hypoglycemia is? Yeah? Maybe a couple of you? Hypoglycemia is where your body is producing way too much insulin. And insulin is your storage hormone. Insulin is the hormone that takes everything you eat and stores it away into your cells. And when you are producing too much insulin, your body stores everything you eat away into your cells, and that makes your blood sugar crash, hence hypo or low glycemia, blood sugar. That makes you hungry all the time. It makes you tired all the time. It makes you irritable all the time. And that's how I'd lived my entire life. The really bad thing about hypoglycemia is not just that it makes you miserable, it's one step away from type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is right around the corner when you've got hypoglycemia, and I knew that, but I didn't know how to fix it, and I fixed it with this program. Now that got me excited, because as a physician, when I can fix what has gone wrong in my patients, that is why I get out of bed in the morning. That is why I love every second of what I do in this office. And so I said, you know what, Jason, not only do you need to do this for your patients, I am definitely doing it for mine because they deserve it. So I started doing it at night for fun, but we got so many patients off of blood pressure, cholesterol, triglyceride, and diabetic medications. They got so much weight off of people that we have a huge volume of just weight loss people in this office, and they take my entire time. That's why I'm not on the floor adjusting people. I know there's some spinal patients in here. I feel like, Who's Dr. Melissa Groelz? She's never out here adjusting people. That's because I'm busy taking care of the weight loss. That's how a spinal doctor got into weight loss, which seems like a crazy jump, but that's how it all went down. Now, if we are going to talk about weight loss, we have got to take a few moments to talk about weight loss myths, because we are bombarded with information about how to lose weight, right? And we are all told to do 3 things to lose weight. What are we told to do?
Starve yourself.
Diet and exercise.
Starve yourself, diet and exercise, right? Or maybe not starve yourself, but eat a healthy, balanced diet, right? But basically, it comes down to you are told to eat less, to exercise, and eat a healthy, balanced diet. Yeah? Here, Marilyn.
I'm sorry.
There's one right over here for you, sweetie. Thanks. Has anyone tried doing that? This works for a few. This does. It's just a really, really, really hard way to lose weight. So I am going to take a moment and explain why this is such a difficult way to lose weight. Because if you tried to do this and it didn't work, that feels like a failure inside. And it is really important, if we're going to find a path to success, that you remove that feeling of failure from your past. Because you didn't fail. This is just not a good system. So when you eat less of a balanced diet, what you're doing is taking a balanced diet of fat, protein, and carbohydrates, because those are our 3 energy sources. And you're saying, you know what, instead of eating all those calories, let's reduce that a little bit. Let's just take in a portion of those calories. The theory here is that if you take in fewer calories than you're burning off, your body will lose weight. When you take in fewer calories than you're burning off, does that make you lose weight?
It doesn't seem to.
It doesn't seem to. Did it in the past, the first time you tried it?
Maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Here's the big thing that you need to know. Of course it makes you lose weight. Your body is burning more calories than you're taking it in. It has to eat up some of itself. But it doesn't burn fat. When you take your calorie intake low, do you know what your body burns instead of fat? Muscle. Your body burns protein, not fat. And so think back to like maybe when you were in your 20s and you first went on a diet. You could lose weight, right? It worked for a little while, but nobody was watching whether or not it was fat or muscle. The scale moved, that's all you cared about. Here's the problem. When you burn muscle as an energy source, it decreases your metabolism for 2 reasons. Number 1, muscle is the tissue in your body that requires the most energy to move around. So the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn all day. And as you eat up your muscle mass, you are going to burn fewer and fewer calories, all right? In addition to that, when you burn muscle as an energy source, it is horrible for your liver, your kidneys, and your adrenal glands. So your body's natural reactive mechanism is to drop its metabolic rate as low as it can because it's trying to save your liver and your kidneys and your adrenal glands. That's a really good thing. You need your liver and your kidneys and your adrenal glands. Those are important organs, right? There's a good reason your body does that. Here's the problem. You start starving yourself or counting points or decreasing your caloric intake, and the scale moves, but you lost muscle, not fat, so your metabolism drops a little bit. But the scale's moving, so that's exciting, so you keep going. Metabolism drops a little further. You keep going, your metabolism drops, and this will work to move the scale via muscle loss until you reach that point right there, where now the amount of calories you're taking in equals the amount of calories you're burning off because you've destroyed your metabolism. Now we've got an equal in versus out on calories, and what happens?
Plateau.
You plateau, right? No more weight loss because your body's in balance again. How long do you continue to starve yourself when the scale's not moving?
You don't.
You don't. Like a day, because that's upsetting, right? What happens as soon as you start eating again? Do you put it on or do you put on more? More. Every single time, right?
Yeah.
Every time. So you lose weight, you stop losing weight, so you start eating again, and even more weight comes on. Because when you did this, you burned muscle, so your body is even less efficient than when you started. So maybe the first time you did this and you starved yourself, you lost 20 pounds. And then you plateaued, and you're like, well, I'm not losing any more weight, and eventually 25 creeped back on. The next time you could only lose 12 pounds before you plateaued, and then 18, 19, 20 came back on. Maybe the next time you can only lose 8 pounds before you plateaued, and 10, 11, 12 came back on. So we get in this pattern of yo-yo dieting. We've all heard that term. There's a reason we've heard that term. It's because we are told to starve ourselves to lose weight. and it doesn't work for long-term weight loss. In fact, it causes long-term weight gain because you're burning the wrong thing in your body. Does that help explain maybe why some of the things you've done in the past didn't work out so well? All right, not to speak good or bad of any one program, it's just physiologically, that's what happens. All right, that's why I'm not gonna tell you to do that. Very good. Let's talk about exercise. Is exercise important?
Yes.
Yeah, exercise is vitally important. You have to exercise. It is crucial to your health. Your heart needs it, your lungs need it, your spine and nervous system need it. It's just not a very effective way to accomplish fat loss. The reason for that is just how many calories you burn in a typical workout. Anybody know how many calories they burn in a typical workout? You're gonna be really high because she teaches shred, so she's amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, 500.
500, anybody else?
I was thinking 350.
350, anybody else?
200.
200? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So average amount of calories burned in typical 45-minute cardiovascular work is 200 to 300, right? Now, if you want to take a cycling class that's 90 minutes long and work so hard you feel like you're going to throw up or pass out the entire time, that's more like the 500. Probably also those, treadmill workouts are closer to that 500 mark. But this is the average, right? You can go above or below that depending on what you're doing. This is the average. How many calories are in a pound of fat? In a gram, yep. A pound.
1,200.
Oh.
Keep guessing.
Is it
3,500.
7,000? No, 3,500. Okay.
3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. How many workouts do you have to do to burn the calories in 1 pound of fat?
I don't.
Right? If you're not even working out, you're not burning much. But that's 11 to 18 workouts to burn 1 little sad measly pound of fat on the scale, assuming that you don't go home and you're like, well, I totally deserve this granola bar. I just killed myself for 45 minutes on the treadmill. I'm hungry. Of course you're hungry. You should be hungry. Exercise tears your body apart, and your body stimulates your appetite so that you'll eat more, so you have the right building blocks to build itself strong again. It is totally appropriate to eat more when you're exercising. However, that granola bar is 275 calories. Now you've done nothing towards weight loss. Okay? Please don't misunderstand me. I am not telling you not to exercise. Of course you should exercise. It is crucial to your health. It is not going to be a component of how you lose weight on my program. So if you're in a state where you can't work out right now, like many of our spinal patients are because they're dealing with injuries, it will not stop you from losing weight. Your weight is going to be dependent on what you eat. Do you eventually have to get back to exercising once we heal your spine? Of course. It's a part of your health. All right, but take that out of your mind. You don't have to work out. Now, I don't want you working out super hard on this program either. So if that's a little bit of a challenge for you and you're like, I'm in the middle of training for an Ironman, let's talk afterwards because we're going to just make some moderations to the program. Anyone currently training for an Ironman? Fastest boulder of their life coming up. Okay, good. All right. Just like clear up the question on exercise. Everyone understands I didn't say don't exercise. That's not what came out of my mouth. Good. Okay. Very good. All right, let's talk about that balanced diet. We hear so much about eating a healthy balanced diet, and really, you have to eat a healthy balanced diet. That's how you stay healthy the rest of your life. However, it keeps you in balance. There is a huge difference between what you need to eat to stay healthy and what you need to eat to lose fat. And I think this is where the biggest confusion comes in America, honestly, is because doctors will tell you, you just need to eat healthy. True, but it's not going to cause you to burn fat. So many people eat healthy and they get so frustrated because they're not losing weight. Well, a healthy balanced diet isn't going to make you lose weight. So let's talk about what does make you gain and lose weight. Sound good? We're going to solve the mystery right here and now. What your body does to either put fat on or take fat off is largely wrapped up in how your body maintains your blood sugar levels. Your body has to have just the right amount of sugar in your blood. You can't have too much sugar in your blood. When you have too much sugar in your blood, that's called diabetes, right? And your body can't keep all of that sugar dissolved in your blood, and so you get crystals of sugar floating around in your bloodstream, and those crystals are very jagged, and they get caught in the small blood vessels of your hands and feet and tear up the blood vessels and the nerves in your hands and feet, and you start to get pain and tingling and numbness and loss of balance, called peripheral neuropathy. Not good. That's what puts you in a scooter right? So you don't want that to happen. Those crystals get caught in the back of your eyes and tear up the back of your eyes, and you start to go blind. Those crystals tear up your internal organs, and your kidneys are most susceptible to that. It is many times kidney failure that does kill you when you have type 2 diabetes. That is why your body doesn't want too much sugar in your blood. It's going to kill you, period. End of story. Your body doesn't want too little sugar in your blood because your nervous system runs on sugar. So you can't have too little sugar in your blood or your brain does not function right. So your body is always working to try to maintain just the right amount of sugar in your blood. Now, anytime you eat any kind of carbohydrate, all carbohydrates are made up of sugar. And so anytime you eat any carbohydrate, it breaks down into sugar, enters your blood, and your blood sugar rises. Let's name all the things that are carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates?
Sugar, flour, fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Bread,
sugar,
potato.
flour, crackers,
Bread.
bread, anything wheat-based, right? So all of our wheat-based stuff. Vegetables, I just heard. So starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes, corn, carrots, beets. Are beets healthy?
Yep.
Yes, but they're a source of carbohydrates. So let's not confuse the issue. We're not saying carbohydrates are unhealthy. We're just listing all the things that are made of sugar, hence carbohydrates, right? I heard somebody else say dairy. Somebody got the tricky one. A lot of people that miss dairy because they think of dairy as being fat and protein, and there is a lot of fat and protein in dairy, but it's loaded with sugar. So there's a very high sugar content in dairy, especially milk. Milk is just a big glass of sugar, pretty much. Fruit, I also heard somebody say that. Is fruit healthy? Yes, but it's all sugar. What about all of our other grains? So not just wheat, but all of our beans, chickpeas, black beans, soybeans, kidney beans, all of our other grains like rice, oatmeal, couscous, barley. Not just wheat, but all of our grains and all of our legumes are carbohydrates. Obviously, just straight up sugar. I did hear somebody mention that, and really I should change this to high-priced coffee drinks. I don't want to use any names. You know, there's a lot of sugar there, and obviously desserts. And alcohol. Alcohol is a source of carbohydrates. Now, don't bring me a bottle of vodka and say, Dr. Melissa, vodka's fine. Just because vodka says 000 on the label doesn't mean it's going to work. That molecule of alcohol is going to act like a sugar in your body. So those are all carbohydrates. Some of them terrible for you, some of them really healthy. But anytime you eat any of those, they break down, your blood sugar rises. And in response to that, your body pumps out a hormone called what? Insulin. Very good. And if your body is functioning normally, it's going to pump out just the right amount of insulin for whatever it is that you ate. Insulin is a master hormone. It does a whole bunch of different things in your body. One of its main jobs is to drop blood sugar back to within a normal range. And here's how insulin accomplishes that. Insulin attaches to almost every cell in your body. Your fat cells are loaded with receptors for insulin because their main job is to sit around and wait for you to produce insulin. So on your fat cells, you have all these insulin receptors. Let's say you have a banana. You eat the banana, it's made all of sugar. That sugar hits your blood sugar rises, your pancreas produces some insulin, and insulin goes out and starts attaching to your cells. If insulin attaches to a fat cell, that stimulates lipogenesis. Lipogenesis is fat creation. Your body takes 3 molecules of sugar, puts them together with some more things to create something called a free fatty acid, takes a molecule of glycerol and sticks that on there to make a triglyceride. You guys have all heard of triglycerides, right? Mm-hmm. Triglyceride is just a molecule of fat. And it takes that molecule of fat and stores it away into the fat cell to bring blood sugar back to a normal range. Beautiful. Perfect. This is exactly how you need your body to work. The problem comes in when you're eating carbohydrates too consistently and repetitively, as we do in America, yes? This is a very carbohydrate-rich society. So even if you're making really good, healthy choices in the types of carbohydrates that you're eating, if you're eating them all day long, it is a disaster. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say for breakfast you have some blueberries and some slow-cooked whole rolled oats and some Greek yogurt. We can make a very strong argument that grains and dairy are terrible for you, and I strongly agree. But just for the sake of this conversation, can we say it's a relatively healthy breakfast? Mm-hmm. And we didn't go out for pancakes, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very Mediterranean.
It's very Mediterranean, yes. Those are all sugar though, right? Mm-hmm. We had dairy, grains, fruit, all sugar. Maybe for a snack, you have an apple or a banana. Maybe for lunch, you have a sandwich, but you're choosing whole grain, gluten-free bread, which is awesome. Gluten is absolutely as bad as they say it is for you. But gluten-free products are not carbohydrate-free. They're just loaded with other kinds of carbohydrates, right? So maybe there's a couple of pieces there. Or maybe you order a wrap, because that sounds really healthy. And you're ordering the spinach tortilla on your wrap. Dyeing a tortilla green does not make it healthy. It's still terrible for you. And they're like huge tortillas. Have you seen how big that tortilla is? It counts as at least 2 or 3 servings of carbohydrates. Maybe for a snack in the afternoon, you have another piece of fruit. Maybe with dinner, you have chicken with some sweet potatoes. Maybe there's some beets. And maybe there's just raspberries for dessert. Nothing I said was horribly unhealthy, was it? But look at what's happening to your blood sugar when you eat like that. It's coming up and down all day long. That's making your poor pancreas produce insulin all day long. And over time, when you are eating like this, you're making your body produce so much insulin that you are starting to coat your cells in insulin. If you look at the medical literature, we use the term bathed. Okay, just to give you a visual, your cells are bathed in insulin, which means those little receptors are always having to work, right? Because there's always insulin there, and they're working, and they're working, and they're working. Do you think they're designed to do that? No. Just like everything else in your body, those insulin receptors are designed to work and then rest so they can reestablish their ionic balance. And then work and rest and reestablish their balance. What do you suppose happens to those little receptors when they get overworked over time and they never have a rest and recovery phase?
Crash?
Yeah, they get destroyed. Very good. You start to literally destroy the functioning of the receptors on your cells. Not just on your fat cells, on all of your cells. This is happening in your entire body. That makes your body less responsive to insulin, or you start to develop insulin resistance. Have you guys heard this term? Yeah, okay, so this is the first step in insulin resistance. And you are not responding to insulin the right way because you've done damage to your receptors. And so what your body does is it starts to pump out even more insulin than it normally would for the amount of food that you ate, because it's trying to force your cells to respond. It has to. It has got to get that blood sugar back down. High blood sugar will kill you in a very short period of time. That is why your body does that. And you've killed some of your receptors, but not all of your receptors. So you're not as immediately responsive to insulin, but you are still long-term responsive to insulin. And so because you produce too much, after about an hour and a half, 2 hours, that insulin eventually runs its course, causing your body to store away more sugar than it should. Now your blood sugar is too low. Remember I said your nervous system doesn't function right when your blood sugar is too low? Well, your brain pays really close attention to blood sugar levels. The second your blood sugar drops too low, your brain sends off a craving for what? For sugar, because your body is smart and it knows it needs it. So a lot of patients come to me and they're just like, Dr. Groelz, I crave sugar. I crave bread. I need that chocolate. You don't understand, Dr. Melissa. I do. I totally understand. A, I've been there. B, there is no mystery as to why that is happening. Every single time, sugar and carbohydrate cravings are low blood sugar levels. Because your body is smart and it knows it's in trouble and it needs you to eat. And it's sending a huge drive out for you to eat. And so you're really hungry and you walk past the table and you grab a cookie and you don't just have a bite of that cookie, you're so hungry, you eat the whole cookie and blood sugar comes up even higher, which is going to make you produce more insulin. Hour and a half, 2 hours goes by, that causes your blood sugar to start to crash. You're sitting at the computer at work and you're like, I'm starving. So you grab a granola bar out of the break room because that's the healthiest option of all the total crap in the break room. I've been in those break rooms. I know what's going on in there. But a granola bar is all sugar, isn't it? Everything in there is sugar. And that's going to make your blood sugar come flying back up, which is going to make you produce more insulin. 2 hours later, that insulin is running its course, blood sugar is crashing again, you're out to lunch, you order a salad because you're trying so hard to make the right decisions. But they put that bread basket on the table while you're waiting for your salad, and 2 or 3 pieces of bread go down your throat before the salad even gets there because you're starving, and your blood sugar comes flying back up. Here's what happens. Over time, your blood sugar levels, and more importantly, your insulin levels get further and further out of control until You kill off enough of these receptors that you can't put that sugar away as fat anymore, and your blood sugar does this. Now what do you have? Type 2 diabetes, right? Not type 1, this is type 2 we're talking about. This is the progression of normal processing of carbohydrates to totally abnormal processing of carbohydrates. We said this in one day so that you get an idea of how this gets going. This doesn't happen in one day, right? This takes years to accomplish. However, once you are functioning from here forward, where your body is producing too much insulin, it is so hard to lose weight with a healthy, balanced diet, because balance means there's carbohydrates there. And every time you eat those carbohydrates, you're producing too much insulin, and everything you eat is getting stored away into a fat cell and making you hungry. Here's the bottom line. You have to fix this. The beautiful thing is you can. If you will stop eating carbohydrates for a period of time, you can start to rest and heal your cells. How long does that take? About 90 days. Why 90 days? Because your body is constantly making new cells all day, every day. And about every 90 days, almost every cell in your body is new. You guys are very nonplussed about that. I mean, take a moment and think about how amazing your body is. That almost every cell in your entire body is new every 90 days. So if you will stop eating carbohydrates for 90 days and stop producing all this insulin for 90 days, as your new cells come out, they can come out with good, healthy insulin receptors.
Yay.
Isn't that a beautiful gift? Yay is right. Because you get to heal what's wrong internally, right? And you get to do it. That's the funnest part about it. It's totally in your hands. All it is a rest from carbohydrates for 90 days. Not forever. They're coming back. But you just got to take a rest so you can heal what's gone wrong inside. That's step 1. Step 2 is you have to teach your pancreas how to produce less insulin. Just taking a rest from carbohydrate intake doesn't teach your pancreas anything. The second you eat carbohydrates again, your body is going to produce the same amount of insulin that it did before. So it is really important that you do this entire protocol. This is a 3-phase protocol. In phase 1, we're going to rest and heal your cells and drop a whole bunch of fat off your body, get you feeling fantastic, back into your tight jeans, on we go. Phase 2, and don't skip phase 2, is we are going to teach your pancreas how to produce less insulin. That's actually the most important thing you're going to do in this office. It is only 2 weeks long, but you've got to do it. Because let's say you lose 30 pounds and you're like, yeah, I got this. I don't ever need to talk to Dr. Groelz again. And you jump back to a healthy, balanced diet. The second you do that, your body is going to produce the same amount of insulin that it was producing before. Your body will jump right back on this roller coaster, and what do you think is going to happen?
You gain the weight back and crash.
You will gain the weight back and crash. Beautifully said. And if I got you off any of your medications, they're all coming back. Don't do that. All right. Even if you're coming off the program early, it's fine. We're not going to be upset. We just want to walk you through that phase because you have got to get your insulin production down. It is one of the biggest factors in how you keep the weight off. It is not the only factor, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it is one of the biggest ones. All right. So rest them for 90 days, drop a whole bunch of fat off your body. If you want to continue losing fat, you will stay on phase 1. And then we're going to teach your body how to produce less insulin. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right, very good. Now, the question is, how do we, you know what, it's really important to get insulin down. It does not just attach to your fat cells. Insulin attaches to your kidneys. It tells your kidneys to retain water. As your kidneys retain more and more water, that causes blood volume to go up. As blood volume goes up, blood pressure goes right up with it. So in many cases, as we see high insulin levels, we see high blood pressure. Not always, but in many cases. Insulin attaches to cells in your liver and makes those cells produce cholesterol. As your insulin goes up, many times, not always, high blood cholesterol comes right with that. Same thing with triglycerides. Main culprit with triglycerides is actually high fructose corn syrup. It sends your liver into overdrive on triglyceride production. So whether or not triglycerides are an issue may just well depend on how much high fructose corn syrup you're getting in. Insulin attaches to your adrenal glands. Your adrenal cortex produces cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. Cortisol is the hormone that puts weight on where? Right here. Through the middle. Through the middle. Central obesity through the middle is from too much insulin and too much cortisol production. Insulin attaches to your adrenal medulla and burns out your adrenal medulla, and you end up with adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue causes chronic fatigue syndrome. People feel like they're just dragging themselves through life. Can't get through 3 o'clock without a trip to Starbucks. That sucks. That used to be me. Remember I told you I had hypoglycemia the vast majority of my life, and I destroyed my adrenal glands because I had a hypoglycemia, so I was producing too much insulin, and I tried to exercise my way out of it. Because the other way to destroy your adrenal glands is too much high intensity exercise. So I ended up in major adrenal fatigue, which makes you exhausted constantly. It stops your ligaments from healing. So as a spinal specialist, I see this as lower back and pelvic injuries that flat out won't heal because the ligaments are shot. That comes from adrenal fatigue. Nothing fun associated with that. Insulin also attaches to your ladies' female organs, and it overproduces estrogen. It is the direct cause of PCOS. That's why they put PCOS patients on diabetic medications. Here's a better solution. Let's fix what's wrong inside. This is another one of the things we have very good success in reversing as we balance the body. Insulin also attaches to and overstimulates and eventually burns out your thyroid gland. So we end up with eventual hypo or low functioning thyroid. Insulin and high blood sugar levels destroy your nervous system. If you are type 2 diabetic, you are 3 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's. They're now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. Have you heard that? Yeah. Because it's coming from too much sugar in your blood. Am I giving you some good reasons to get insulin under control? I'm not kidding about this. This is serious. What I just rattled off really fast is called metabolic syndrome. So if you're like, what the heck did Dr. Groelz talk about? Just Google metabolic syndrome. It's going to bring up the same information there for you. This is not a secret. Everybody knows it. But if you go to the doctor and you have these problems, what are they going to do?
Yeah, medicine.
Is that fixing anything? No. It's buying you some time. Don't stop taking your medication. But you have an opportunity here to possibly save your own life. Take it seriously. Because these are the main things that we many times see resolve. Blood pressure, cholesterol, triglyceride, diabetic, and acid reflux medications are 9 times out of 10 removed in our patients. Can I guarantee that's happening? Absolutely not. Everyone's body is different. Can I tell you what happens very consistently? Yes, I can. So I know, hard and heavy, Dr. Melissa, I want to lose 10 pounds. Why are you telling me all this? Because I want you to get the big picture of what you're really choosing this program for. Because to me, weight loss is child's play. Yeah, I'm going to take a bunch of fat off you, and it's going to be wonderful, and we're going to hug, and we're going to have a great time doing that. But that is not why you choose this program. You choose this program so that you don't go down this road right here, and if you've already gone down that road, you need to start reversing it. There are also people in your life I expect you to talk to. They have these problems and they're not being told what to do right about it. So don't save your own life and leave your friends and family at home to kill themselves with sugar. Send them in to at least listen to a class. If they never say a word to me, who cares? Does it matter? I'm here for free anyway. They might as well just come listen. But this is the why behind what you're doing. Any questions on that? Good. We're going to jump straight into the how. Your body can burn energy from 3 sources: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Those are your only options. Your body's designed to run on carbohydrates. As long as your body has carbohydrates, it's absolutely what your body is going to burn. So we are going to limit carbohydrates for a period of time, not forever, but for a period of time to get you down the road to burning fat. Now, when you stop eating carbohydrates, your body starts burning something called glycogen. Anybody heard of glycogen before? Glycogen is just 2 molecules of sugar put together. That's called glycogen. And your body stores it away in your muscles and in your liver. So when you stop eating carbohydrates, the first thing your body does is start eating up its glycogen stores, because your body wants to eat carbohydrates, right? So when you stop eating carbohydrates, the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, your body is still running on sugar called glycogen. You're going to lose a ton of weight in that time, because 1 gram of glycogen stores 4 grams of water around it. So as your body eats up its glycogen stores, it sheds that water off. So you're going to lose a ton of weight in the first 2 weeks. It is not fat, it is water. When you run out of glycogen, ladies, usually day 4 or 5, guys, usually day 5, 6, or 7, you have more muscle, therefore you store more glycogen than we do. You are going to have a day where you feel tired. And I need you to mentally go, yes, my body's run out of glycogen. It has to go looking for something else. Nothing's wrong. You're doing it right. If you don't hit a tired day, celebrate and move on with your life. But if you do get to a tired day, just go, it's okay. This is great. Dr. Groelz said I'm doing it right. I want you to remember 2 things on your tired day. 1, rest, take it easy. I don't care if it's suddenly 75 degrees in February in Colorado. Do not go hike the Flatirons that day. Take a nap, read a book, calm down. Second thing you need to do is eat extra. The reason for that is the second your body runs out of glycogen, guess what it goes after? Protein. It's going to go straight after your muscle mass. So I need you eating extra so that you can get enough protein in to keep your muscle mass stable, because your body is absolutely eating muscle on your tired day. So you hit your tired day and you go, Dr. Groelz says eat and take a nap. Not the end of the world, right? I didn't say run a marathon and starve yourself. So it's not too hard. But here's what you're going to be eating. You're going to eat ideal protein. The reason you're eating the proteins in this office is they are much higher assimilation rate into your body than is regular protein. The reason for that is just how proteins are made up. So proteins at their base level, like a piece of chicken, here's how it's made inside. It's a big long chain of amino acids. That's its primary structure. It's folded in half and bound together. That's the secondary structure. That's wrapped up tight in a knot, and then those knots are bound to other knots. So chicken inside is all wrapped up in knots, okay? When we eat it, it goes into our stomach, and we as a species have special enzymes in our stomach that start to cleave those bonds, to start unwinding that knot, to expose the individual amino acids to the acid in our stomach. And the acid in our stomach cleaves that individual amino acid bond. It is that tiny little individual amino acid that is small enough to cross through the intestinal barrier, be absorbed into our bloodstream, and used to sustain muscle mass and vital organs. What is not unwound goes through us. Much of the protein we eat never gets unwound. It stays in a knot and passes through our body in bulk, which is fine. Mother Nature didn't do something wrong. Our bodies are perfect. It is only when you're putting yourself in an anti-natural state of having no carbohydrates around that your body eats muscle so aggressively as an energy source. We are just not designed as a species to break up enough bonds to be able to absorb enough protein to keep our muscle mass stable. So if you take carbohydrates out, your body's going to eat up muscle mass no matter how much protein you eat, and you're going to drop your metabolism. This will not work, and it is terrible for your liver, your kidneys, and your adrenal glands. So you're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to be eating a vegetable protein source that is just a pre-digested protein. That's really all it is. What these are naturally occurring vegetable proteins that they figured out how to unwind without denaturing. So just a big long chain of amino acids. That's all they are. When you eat those, they hit your stomach, and the acid in your stomach can cleave all those bonds because they're already unwound. And then you can have 90% assimilation of that protein into your body so that we can keep enough protein going in to keep your muscle mass stable. That's the key. When I get enough protein, just enough protein, this is not a high protein diet, it's just an adequate protein diet. We're going to give you just enough to keep muscle stable. That is how you kick your body into a state of burning fat almost exclusively as an energy source. That is where you want to get, that is where you want to stay. That's where ladies lose an average of 3 to 7 pounds a week, men lose an average, ladies 3 to 5, men 3 to 7. Okay? Very good? Sound good? You want to know what you're eating all day? All right, here's the brief overview, and then we'll get into details. For breakfast, you are going to have one of my protein products along with some vitamins. You can have coffee or tea, you don't have to. For lunch, you're going to have another of my protein products, 2 cups of vegetables from a list of vegetables that I'm going to give you, and a huge salad. For dinner, you're going to have some regular protein like chicken or fish, meat, eggs, something along those lines, 2 cups of vegetables, and a big salad. If you are here for health reasons, because you need to get off medications, you're on this for 90 days, because you got to fix what's wrong inside. If you are here to lose 30 pounds, you're on this for about 90 days, because it's probably going to take about 90 days for a woman to lose 30 pounds. If you want to lose 80 pounds, you're on phase 1 until you lose 80 pounds. So how long you're on it largely depends on your goal. Yeah. What I would recommend is at least do the 3 months. Some of you might only want to lose 10 pounds, and that's going to happen way before 3 months. So you're going to have a decision to make. Do I keep going so I can reset my internal chemistry? That's what I would recommend, but ultimately it's your body and your health, and you decide.
Do you think it takes about 3 months to reset? I know 90 days for everything you can do.
Well, the reset of your chemistry does. Your weight loss is going to be depending on your goals. When you're done with that, you do phase 2. Phase 2 is where we teach your pancreas how to produce less insulin. What did we say about that phase?
2 weeks.
Don't skip it. Don't skip it, please. And then we go to stabilization. Stabilization is the next year after you have finished your pancreatic reset. Because if you are at, I'm going to pick random numbers. If you're at 160 and you want to drop to 130, you're going to drop to 130, and guess what your body wants to do? Go back to 160, because that's your body's set point. And your body wants to hang out at your set point. So a lot of research has been done on how can we reset that set point. And here's what they found when doing a lot of research. If you can hit your new weight of wherever you want your body to have a new set point at 3 times in 12 months, your body starts to establish its homeostasis around that new number. So let's say you are going from 160 and you want to hover at 130. We're going to take you from 160 to 130. It's January, so that will probably be happening in the spring. And then you might gain a little bit of weight over the summer, which is normal because you live in America and you're probably going to take in maybe a little more calories than you should. Maybe you won't. You're going to do a week next September of this program and drop right back to 130. You're going to go through the holidays. You may or may not put a little weight on the holidays. You're going to do a week of phase 1 in January of next year. Then you're going to do a week of phase 1 the following May. So you are going to do it in May, September, and January, because you have to hit that new number 3 times in 12 months to start teaching your body, this is our new place. What I would strongly recommend is just do that forever. I'm on phase 1 right now, not because I want to lose weight, but because I got to reset. Because naturally over time your body produces more and more insulin, and if you stop and reset that insulin production every once in a while, the weight never comes back. If you never reset that insulin, the weight slowly creeps back on. So we pick those times very specifically. Everybody's in the mood in January to clean it up, right? It's easy to do a week and clean it up. May is right before your summer vacations. Most people are in the mood to clean it up and look good for summer, so it's another easy time to do it. September is when all the kids go back to school and everybody's more focused and travel is done, and so it's another easy time to focus and do it. My recommendation, every January, May, and September, do a week. We all do it here together so that we have a lot of recipes going out and energy around you, and we're all a team, so we make it really easy for you. That's from day 1 through the rest of your life. That's a lot of information. So you will be having a coach. You will be seeing your coach every single week, one-on-one. So don't feel like you have to memorize any of this, all right? Yeah. We are here to help you out. You'll have our cell phone numbers. You can call or text us with questions at any time. Now, there's 2 things that we haven't talked about. That is trouble zones and skin. I cannot, with any weight loss program, make your body burn fat from where you want your body to burn fat from. Everybody has trouble areas, and most ladies know where their trouble area is. Guys sometimes don't, because they don't deal with weight quite as much as we do. But sometimes it's like, gosh, you know what, no matter what I do, my body does not take weight from the middle. Or no matter what I do, I always have saddlebags. Or no matter what I do, my arms never lose weight. Everybody's got those little areas. And so we do have a way to target and melt fat out of those areas without doing any damage or any invasion in your body whatsoever. We also have a piece of equipment that stimulates collagen production to tighten skin. Because if you have been overweight for a period of time and you suddenly lose 30 pounds, your skin doesn't just automatically tighten up. You've stretched your skin out, and so you lose 30 pounds, now you have saggy skin there. And that was a big issue for a lot of our patients. So I did a ton of research into the different options out there, like some of the things that are a little more invasive, and I chose to wait until they came out with a system that was 0 invasion in your body, because I don't want to kill any cells, I don't want to do any damage to you. So our piece of equipment temporarily alters the permeability of the fat cell wall and melts fat out of the cells. At the same time, it stimulates collagen production to tighten your skin. So it allows us to really target and tone those trouble areas and to really shrink your skin so that when this is all said and done, you're thrilled. Because when you go through all this work, I think you deserve to be thrilled. All right, so that's what I would strongly recommend, and it's the combination of the 2 therapies together that really gives us the best results in this office. So that's what most of our patients do. When you are doing that therapy, if you choose to do it, it's 3 days a week, because we are altering the permeability of that wall for 48 hours. So you do a treatment, we melt fat out of that cell for 48 hours, we do another treatment. Melt fat out of that cell for 48 hours, do another treatment. So I would recommend no less than 12 sessions. That's really what it takes to get a good change in the mirror. So when you're doing it, you want to pick the month that you can be here 3 times a week. I always get the question, when should I do my red light therapy, Dr. Melissa? At the beginning, in the middle, at the end? It doesn't matter.
How long is a session?
About 45 minutes. You're gonna be 20 minutes on the lights. We wrap you up, you take a warm nap, you lay there and shrink, and then you stand on a power vibration plate for 15 minutes because that stimulates your lymphatic drainage because the fat's moving into your lymph system to be brought to your liver and be processed, removed from the body. No pain, no downtime. It's about the most fabulous and indulgent thing you could possibly dream of, all right? But when you should do it depends on when you can be here, right? You wanted to pick a month where you can be here 3 times a week for 4 weeks. That's what makes the difference. All right. I'll show you some quick pictures on what to expect in terms of results with the red light therapy so that you have a very solid and reasonable idea of what will happen. These pictures that I am showing you are not done with our weight loss program. They are done with the red light therapy only because I want to give you very realistic expectations of what to expect. So this was someone we were working with, and her trouble area was just her little pooch. She just wanted to get rid of that and couldn't get rid of it. So we treated that area, and she has a really beautiful result. That was 10 instead of 12, but she just didn't need 12 to get where she was going. She didn't love the cellulite and crepiness on the back of her legs. So as long as we were doing it, she had us wrap her hips and thighs as well. And we had a really nice result on the legs also.
And what is the cost of it?
I'll hand it out to you in 1 second. Absolutely. Arms is a big one for ladies because they don't want to have the skin hanging down. There's a before and after on an arm. Beautiful change, yeah? A lot of that is skin tightening, isn't it? It's nice to have a way to tighten your skin as you age. We're all going to get looser skin as we age. It's a normal process of aging. So having an opportunity to turn that around is a very, very nice thing. Notice this was 12 sessions and not 10. Arms take a little longer. The area that responds the fastest is the tummy, and then the butt, and then the thighs, and then the arms, and then the chin. Some people have the fat through here. So how much you need to do slightly depends on what area you're really wanting to treat. This is a guy, I threw this in here because most guys are through the middle that they want change. That was 12 sessions. Huge change, right? Still got the hangover, right? Remember, he's not doing the fat loss system. He's just doing the red light therapy. So that's why I'm telling you, don't just do the red light therapy. Do the changes in your diet as well.